Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pint Pals Podcast. It is I, Lucas.
My name's Nate.
And today, we are going to be doing things a little bit differently. Yesterday, Saturday the 24th, Nate and I attended a virtual beer festival sponsored by Hop Culture and one of their partners, Halftime Beverage out of Poughkeepsie, New York. And it was a virtual beer festival, and the theme was all like 420 themed beers because of the holiday that was last week.
So yeah, they shipped out 10 different beers from Australia from across the United States. I gotta say, this is my first experience being able to do this. Lucas had done one a couple months ago for breakfast-based beers.
Yeah, it was the breakfast-themed beers.
Yeah. He didn't give me much information on this one in terms of what to expect. I gotta say, one theme I did see though is that it seemed to start really low ABV as it was going, and then by the time we got to the end, we were getting up to like 11 or 12% beers. Yeah. So I do appreciate they didn't start off with those heavy beers, but at the same time, it was really difficult to really pace yourself because it just kind of hits you real quick.
Yeah, and we were also trying to keep up with the sampling that was going on.
Yeah, so yeah, that was another thing I didn't really know much about. So essentially it was on YouTube. They had a presentation, really well done. The production of it was outstanding, really well put together, very crisp and clean. And also the people they had on there talking, it was really interesting to kind of get insight to all those different breweries, but they didn't just talk about the beers, but they talked about other stuff as well.
Yeah. It was just, I mean, for me working in a brewery and for me wanting to have a brewery of my own one day, and making beer, it's just I personally like it because you learn more from people in the industry itself and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
but yeah, it was all 420 based. Doesn't mean necessarily the beer was
none of the beer had like CBD in it or anything like that.
Yeah. So. And even though most of them were IPAs, I don't think a lot of them, I know you had one, I don't remember which one it was, you said really tasted like you could like really had like the weed taste.
Oh yeah.
You remember which one that was?
I have that on here somewhere.
But it might have been maybe it was a Dank House.
I think the Dank House one was, I thought, the closest. Yeah, I think it was.
Okay, but like in my sense, I didn't really get that so much from any of these. More so, it seemed like the theme was to have beers that you would think somebody who's getting high might like, such as like high flavor profiles.
Some of them are like munchy, I guess.
Yeah.
Themed.
And I mean, some of them are just, it's just the theme of the beer, not necessarily that. So,
like
going through this, in my mind, I just thought, oh man, everything's going to taste like strong weed, and that's all I'm going to have. But
like, I've had that experience before with the New Belgium Hemperor. When I worked at the beverage center, there was a bottle that broke, and basically the whole back smelled like weed because of this beer. And I mean, I get it, like, haha, my beer smells like weed. I get it, but it's also, I mean, it's also cool to see, how you can play with these different hop profiles to make these certain smells and stuff like that.
It is. It's a true science. It's fascinating.
Yeah. So since we're not sampling any of the beer that we have out here, I decided, hey Nate, let's have a beer while we record this episode. And Nate what'd you end up picking?
Yeah, this is
from my collection.
This is Dancing Gnome. Is that what it's called? Oh no, is that a collab?
No. Yeah, it's a Listerman collab.
Oh, it's a Listerman collab with Dancing Gnome. Okay, yeah, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That would make sense then. It is called Listerman Dancing Gnome When the Year Ends in One. It's a New England IPA with Sabro, Lotus, pineapple, and vanilla. 16.3. I can give a quick little sip here and give you my full my full analysis of it here.
The reason I got that beer is because that is the beer that they made for the English Premier League soccer team, the Tottenham Hotspurs, which is my favorite team.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
Where are they located? You said where?
What?
The team?
In England.
In England, okay.
London.
I wouldn't be able to tell you any other. I couldn't really think much about soccer at all.
Did you come with us? Were you in that soccer stadium tour when we were over there in England? And
no, I was not.
No, you weren't part of that? Oh, okay.
No.
I know when we
were in London, is that what you mean?
Yeah, it was part of the London pass that we got.
Yeah, no, I didn't.
We got a free tour of Arsenal, which is the main rival to Tottenham, because their stadium was under construction at the time, so I couldn't go see this Tottenham stadium.
I like this. It's incredibly smooth.
Yeah, I was a big fan of it as well. For my beer of choice, I went with Buffalo Bayou Brewing's Y'all. It's a Texas brewery, so there's the Y'all.
The Y'all. I love actually I use Y'all a lot because in college, I don't know if you remember Ravi, but yeah, he probably don't.
No, I don't.
He said Y'all a lot anyway, and so I kind of picked up on it, and I like saying it. It's fun to say. And I think it's become part of my vocab now. Even though I've never been to Texas, never lived in Texas, anything.
I was in Texas once. Don't
Texas,
remember most of my
Texas
time.
Lucas.
Yeah.
I've heard. It's like Frank the Tank, but Texas Lucas.
But this beer is a passion fruit mango pineapple golden ale, and it is very juicy and very sweet. And I'm glad I picked this one out. I forgot it was totally in there.
Yeah, I got to taste a little bit of that. I did like it. I think it would make a really good poolside summer, just sitting by the water vibe. It's very light.
Before we get into these beers, what rating would you give that one?
Man, I was trying to just kind of pick out the flavor. The vanilla is really strong in here. I wasn't really getting much pineapple, because when I think of pineapple, I think a little bit more like a soury taste to it, tartar taste.
Well, see, that pineapple, that tart pineapple comes through a little bit more on this, but when I had that, I tasted more of like, the dried pineapple chunks with the sugar on top?
Yes.
That's what I got from it.
Okay. I can see that then a little bit, but yeah, nothing really sticking out more so just the vanilla and the sweet taste, but it's incredibly smooth. There's a little bit of hops bite, but that's about it.
So what? Oh, do you want to explain the Prost rating?
Prost rating, yes. Yes, we are going to get Prost rating into this. So the Prost rating is something we came up with as a way to rank our beers on how much we like them. So starting at the bottom would be the P, which is probably won't try again. R, which means regrettable. O is optimistic, so halfway through. And usually when we give an O, we kind of think like, maybe if we try this on tap, it might be much better.
Or at an earlier date, because I know we've had some
canning as well. Yeah,
just later, older beers.
Yes, and then the S is
satisfactory,
because I keep wanting to say super, so I always make Lucas say it. And then T is for terrific. And when I'm thinking about rating my between S and T, for T, I like to leave for ones that I think I can have a lot of. They could be a really, really good beer, but if I can't have more than one in a day, then I don't think it's something that I would really want. Because when I'm drinking beer, I don't want to just have one for the day and be done. So looking at this one, I'm gonna give it a high S.
Okay.
I could definitely have a lot more of in this setting. I like that it's incredibly smooth, and just the right amount of like hoppy taste to it, but it's incredibly smooth.
For the one that I have, I'm gonna give it an S as well. But this is definitely one that I could have more than one of in a day. It's only 5.2% ABV, and on like a hot summer day, sitting at the pool, like you said, I would go back to back with these. Yeah,
I'm not gonna lie. I wish that one were actually a lower ABV, just so that I could like have a lot more of it in the setting. I feel like 5 is still kind of high in a way.
That's not too.
It's not incredibly high, no. But like if it were like a 4.5, I could easily pace myself. I could pace myself out through the entire day easily. Once I get a higher one, I make bad decisions when it's higher ABV, and then it's too late. Which is what we'll probably talk about in this podcast here.
Oh, definitely. Because it definitely hit a point for me as well where it was like, I'm focused and learning a lot and content, and oh geez, these are high ABV beers and we've been drinking all day.
Man, it was funny because we would only have one beer at a time, and it's the one that we're tasting, and then Well, the next beer would come up, Lucas would go over to grab it, and he'd just start laughing as he's walking towards me, looking at the ABV. And I swear, it just kept going up every time. I think we maxed out at 12%. 12% for the...
This one was 11, I know.
Was it? Wasn't...
But I don't know what the stout was.
That was only 7. The stout, which one?
That one right there.
This one? Oh yeah, this was the 12. Yep.
Yeah, so we've tapped out at 12. Are you ready to get into our ratings and discuss some of the beers?
Yeah, and I'm gonna try my best on this because, like we just said, we got so far into these beers that we were kind of unable to stay focused after a while.
Well, I do have them all listed in order.
He's got them listed.
So we can just start from how they did.
Yeah. Well, we can definitely start from where they did, but I think I got to a certain point where I started just writing weird words.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, I called a beer Phenomenal.
Yep, that was probably
that was probably the killer right there.
Yep, that was the last beer. That was the very last. No, the Munch Blaster. That was the second to last beer.
Yeah, I got to that point. I couldn't even process. At one point, I made a little upside down face. I don't know. My words here are not legible. I can't understand most of it. So I'll do my best to try to do the early beers, and then the later beers I'll do my best to get to those.
So the first beer that we had was from 450 North. It was the Granddaddy Purple Slushy XL, which is this one right here. And it's a smoothie style Berliner Weiss with pomegranate, strawberry, and blackberry.
And if you haven't heard of this brewery, we did do a podcast on them.
Mm-hmm.
It was early on.
It was October, I think. October and November, because I know it was their Halloween launch.
So if you are interested, definitely go back and check out that video as well to get more insight on their brewery. Do you want to talk about each one? I'm going to go through them all first.
We can talk about we can talk about
it as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that one, just like what I expect from all their other ones, to be honest, it was a sweet, strong, sweet flavor.
Yeah.
I mean, it felt like I was drinking, I know it was blackberry and something else, but it just tasted like a grape drink, essentially, to me.
Yeah, I got the same thing as well. I mean, a lot of their beers, I know they have had problems as a brewery with some stuff, but I mean, it just, I know they're fun beers. I know people give flack to people who enjoy the 450 beers. I mean, it was like a fun,
it's fun.
They started the show at noon, and I think they did the first beer at around 10 minutes after.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good beer to start off with, because I didn't even bother searching up their ABV because it's kind of tough to find that. But I did want to say that they're from Columbus, Indiana, and I was just going to mention where each brewery is from, so people know definitely that these beers did come from all across the country. So.
Mm-hmm. All right, so our next one here was the Dream.
It's Dream.
Dream.
Yeah,
J-Ream, but it also said for juices.
Yes.
Juice rolls everything around me.
Yes,
which is incredibly creative. Props to that. Whoever thought of that was amazing.
And it's from Burley Oak. Which one is it? This one right here. It is the Strawberry Apricot Marshmallow Dream.
Mm-hmm.
And so these beers have been on my list of things to get. They are from Berlin, Maryland. So it was hard. Without this festival, I don't think I would have been able to have one of those beers for quite some time until I was able to go back out east. And so I have a plan next time I go out to New York, which is to go down to Maryland.
A road trip plan
to go down to Maryland and then come back over here.
All right.
It adds an hour to my trip, but if I'm driving 9
hours, it's better than paying $25 for shipping for beer. So, all right.
Yeah. Or going through the secondhand market and trying to get somebody who lives out there to mail it out here, and that alone is.
Yeah.
What'd you think of this one? Because I put delicious, sweet, and the marshmallow. I thought the marshmallow was stronger, and so was the apricot I didn't get much of the strawberry, which is fine. Oh, I also gave an optimistic to the 450 North.
Oh,
I
the
don't
450
know.
North. I just gave it an S.
Okay.
Yeah. I have nothing else to really say about
Yeah,
it other
that's
than
it.
it's enjoyable. It's enjoyable. Um, the so the Dream I went with it. I could definitely taste the apricot. I didn't really taste the apricot at first until you kind of described, because I never really had an apricot before.
Hmm.
You kind of described it as being like a peach, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah,
Like a drier peach.
yeah. It's like, yeah, I taste that now. So yeah, definitely that. It was a strong marshmallow aftertaste for that one. And I also like that the tartness was not overbearing in that. Because I think there was another one that was next that the tartness was kind of overbearing, but this one tartness was really good. I gave it a T.
I gave it a T as well, and it was the second beer of the festival. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad that they started with kind of the sours first, then IPAs, and then ended. So it was kind of like, for me, it was kind of for intenseness, I guess. It
Okay.
was like the sours were pretty much all the same ABV, because I think, man, what is it?
I
Yeah,
mean,
this one's only 4.8% ABV. So like it was like intense and then back down.
see, my thought was like that they didn't want these like hoppiness to like really overbear
Right.
the sours. So if you get the sours out of the way, then
Yeah, that's probably what it was.
but that, or it's just because they wanted to end on a 12%. All right, so the next one, you ready for the next one?
Yep.
Next one was from Collective Arts. It was a berry banana. Oh man, how am I gonna say this?
Isn't it acai?
Acai granola smoothie bar or smoothie sour. It's from Collective Arts. What I said here is that
And they're from Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
Wisconsin.
Okay. Yeah. So it was too tart for me. That was my biggest thing, and I think because it was too tart, I felt like the berry banana smoothie aspect was really hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
It was there though. I could taste it because I remember talking to you and Abby and Alexis that it was like, man, I can really taste the banana berry, but the tartness is also getting in the way of it to make it kind of less enjoyable. So that was the biggest thing. I think the tartness were brought down a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I think those other flavors have a chance of really showing.
I personally did not care for this beer at all. I think this ended up being my lowest rated beer of the. Yeah, it was the lowest rated beer of the festival for
You just
me.
hate sours. It's okay. Just be
No,
honest
I
with
love
me.
sours. Don't get me wrong. I did not care for this one. To me, I got like an off banana flavor from it,
Okay.
and I gave it an R. I didn't really care for it. I mean, my main thing, I don't like banana, so I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, dude, this beer sucked. It's like, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for it.
Yeah, I gave it. So I'm guessing you gave it an R.
Yeah, I gave it an R.
I debated an R, but I'm optimistic about it. I went with an O because I feel like there is a chance that maybe not all of them are as tart.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been just a bad can. Who knows? But I'm optimistic. I feel like there's, because I did really enjoy the berry banana flavor.
Okay.
It's just the tartness would make me not want to ever have it again. All right. Next one.
The next beer that we covered was Dankhouse Brewing's Chasing Trees. And I was excited to see these guys on there because they are from Norwalk, Ohio, and they are actually on the Columbus Ale Trail. And we have still yet to go out to that brewery because they are a little on the outside.
Do we get our stamp for this?
I don't think we get our stamp for that.
We're how far are we into that Columbus Ale Trail? I feel like we only got at least 10.
Yeah, we're not far enough.
Summer's gonna be quite the adventure.
Oh yeah. Oh jeez. How long do we have to finish it?
Till the end of the year, right? I think at least just right till the end of the year.
Is it the end of the year?
I would guess.
Okay. I thought it was like a 5-6 month window.
Nah, it's got to definitely be longer than that because I can't imagine fitting 65.
Well, that's the thing. They want you to get out there.
Yeah, even if I go for one per week, it's still not even enough. I have to go to at least.
Well, now I have to go back and listen to our Columbus Ale Trail episode.
Yeah, right. Which you can find in the description below. I'll make more work for you later.
Yeah, of course. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I'm used to it.
So yeah, double IPA. the thing that I liked about this is that the hops were extremely smooth. They didn't ruin my palate at all. And that was actually pretty crazy because it was an 8% beer. But I didn't get that sense at all.
With this beer, this was the first beer that I've ever had from them. I thought it was very dank and very delicious.
That's right. This is the one that you said tasted dank, and I was like, I just don't get that. Huh.
I don't know. It might have been just me. It could have been suggestive, but I got very dank notes from it. And I was like, this tastes like the marijuana.
It's like the marijuana. Yeah, I didn't get that, and that kind of surprised me. But then again, I guess maybe I didn't really know what I was to be looking for. In that case, I've never eaten weed, I guess. You were just like this. You're talking about like the scent of like
yeah.
Weed,
It's
when you taste scents. Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't get that. But I enjoyed it nonetheless. I thought it was really smooth,
and it was definitely. I thought it was pretty cool to see a Columbus area brewery.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think I can't remember if there was an Ohio
for the breakfast one.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would have probably.
Man, you know what they should have done for the breakfast one?
What was that?
They should have gotten Wolfsridge Daybreak in it.
Yes.
That coffee one, that would have been excellent.
I need to go back and get some more of that. I really do.
Such a good beer.
Yeah, and our guys from the Tipsy Texan really enjoyed Daybreak. And their reaction made me want to go back and get more. So yeah, Dank House, I gave a really high S. I gave a really high S for it. What'd you put for that?
Oh, I gave it a high S as well.
High S?
Yeah, absolutely.
Our next one here is going to be Untitled Art.
The Untitled Art. It's their Hazier Triple IPA. And it's 9% ABV. And they are from, they're from Wisconsin. Waunakee. I'm sure I'm butchering that. Waunakee, Wisconsin. So, this is the second one from Wisconsin.
I'll be honest.
That's where you ended. That's where you ended. You wrote the title of it, and that was it.
That's not true. So, okay, but yes and no. That's where I stopped writing. So I made it about 4 beers in before I had to stop writing. Oh my gosh! But I remember this one. I put not a fan. I think Can you describe the profile that you kind of got for it, just to refresh my memory? But
so for this one, I gave it an O. I was very much on the fence about it. It was a hazier triple IPA, so it had it was a higher ABV. It had an extreme hop bite to it, which I usually don't find a problem. But I mean, it was like, this is just an IPA type thing. It felt very, I don't know. I don't want to be shitting on this beer, but it felt very lackluster compared to everything else that we had that day.
I don't say it's shitting, but I mean, it's just your opinion, you know.
Yeah,
that's how you felt about it. Everybody experiences beer differently.
Yeah, I mean, there was no alcohol burn for the 9%. It was smooth and easy to drink, but I just felt like it was pretty standard. Like, it was just an IPA. Nothing really to write home about. Yeah,
I'll go with an O as well, only because I truly don't really remember much about it. It didn't leave an impression on me, I guess you could say. Yeah, so I'll just go with an O for that. I did write not a fan, which meant something at the time, but I can't quite decipher what exactly it meant. Now, this next one, it's funny. I think I eventually copied your notes on this one. You put strictly illegal. Or is that the name of the beer?
That's the name of the beer.
That's the name of the beer. Okay.
You didn't send us an illegal beer.
Strictly illegal. I thought you I think what I was thinking of when I read your notes about this one, I was like, oh, he's saying it's such a high ABV because it was what was 11?
Yeah, it was.
I thought you were kind of saying ABV. Oh, this should be illegal. Oh my gosh, it tastes good, but it's such a high ABV. This should be illegal, kind of thing. I think that's in my mind what was kind of
they said.
But I remember I liked this one.
They told the reason behind the story, why it's called strictly illegal. and I think it had to do with people home brewing beer, and it was so this is from Big Lake, Minnesota, and
I can kind of fairly remember what you were kind of
yeah,
getting at here.
he was talking about. I remember like bits and pieces of it because I forget a lot of that festival.
It's at this point was the turning
notes.
point. This is about a turning point right here.
But he was talking about some, I don't know if it was like a local legislator or a state legislator that they were coming up with laws and regulations for home brewing, and the legislator was like, "Oh, people are going to be making moonshine in their basement. That should be strictly illegal." And so they named the beer Strictly Illegal because it had something to do with homebrewing. And I'm looking on the side here. It says, lock this up and throw away the key. Putting this many hops into a beer ought to be criminal. Call it wanton waste, negligence, what have you. We should be ashamed of ourselves. In fact, don't even buy it, or you will be an accomplice to a criminal act. Just leave the rest for us. We know just how to... And then it's blanked out here. Rid of the evidence. So I don't know.
I like that.
I know it was something to do with state legislating, and then somebody yelled, "Strictly illegal," and that's I'm sure I'm butchering this story. If you really want to know, you can go back and check out the beer festival on their YouTube.
Yep, for Hot Culture.
So I mean, what's it say here in the bottom? It doesn't say anything. Okay.
No, because it's all been redacted.
Yeah, it does say redacted on for their IBUs. It might have something to do with like what hops you could put into a beer, because each state is different when it comes to beer laws and whatnot.
Huh.
You know, just nonsense.
Your story definitely is kind of coming to my mind when they were talking, but it was also at this point that I was kind of like pretty tipsy. I do remember liking this one. Again, I didn't write any notes about the flavor profile.
Oh, I did though.
What'd you put?
I got some. It was very smooth. I gave this one a high S. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. It did not feel like the 11% beer. It was very smooth to drink, and it had some fruity notes of like pineapple and tropical fruit to it. So
okay, I'm
I
not gonna rate it.
Enjoyed it.
Just strictly respectful of the fact that I can't remember full about it. I do remember I did like it, so I'll leave it at that. But in the sake of not remembering too much, I'll go with that. So the next one, I might have skipped one here. Is the next one? Yeah, I definitely skipped one here. It's a single cut?
Yeah, it was the single cut metal.
No.
I believe it's right up there in the front.
Yes.
Yeah. This is one that I did not care for. I thought it had a very off-putting taste to it, and I gave it an O. Be very much willing to try it again, but I also think, let me see here.
3/4/21?
No, that's fine. It wasn't that then. But I just didn't really care for it.
I remember this one. I remember you mentioned that it tasted off about something. And I remember thinking it wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but also I didn't think it was as bad as what you were making me feel like it was.
I didn't care for it a bit.
I would still kind of put it maybe a very, very high O. I don't know if you got into my head about there being something off about it.
Probably.
It could have been.
I do have impeccable taste. So.
It could have been you getting into my head and me thinking, oh, maybe there is something off, and then that. But I'll give it a high O.
Okay.
For that one.
After that, we had single cuts from Astoria, New York. So got some East Coast.
Yeah.
Got some Midwest.
And you said you had something from them as well.
I had a few of their other beers. Foot Pedal was one of my favorite beers from them, and I've had some other ones. I just can't remember. It was a while ago. The next beer we had from in the festival was from Tripping Animals out of Doral,
Florida.
Doral, Florida. It was Street Nacho.
These were the guys that had the little monkey picture probably behind them, right?
Yeah.
I remember.
This is the one with the shark on land, I guess, with legs. He's got cargo shorts on. It was a double India IPA with Amarillo and Columbus. So, 8.5% ABV. So, again, we're getting up there. But the one that this really interests me a lot. This was canned back in February.
Mm-hmm.
So that was, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it still tasted very fresh to me. I thoroughly enjoyed this one. I gave it an S, a high S. I found it to be hoppy, tropical, and delicious.
Yes, I will give it a high S as well. I remember this one because I put a weird little emoji, an upside down face emoji, but I think it's because I thought they were funny guys, I guess. I thought they were interesting.
So what's up with the upside down smile?
I don't know. I don't know what it was.
What's up with your drunk hieroglyphics?
What do I decipher this to be? I put a check mark next to it as well, so I'm only gonna assume that meant that I really liked it. No, I do remember this one, and I did enjoy this one a lot. Because this is the one that I was actually holding on to for the longest time because I was drinking these other ones, but I kept coming back to it because I liked it. So I held on to it through these other ones in case, maybe if I were to end on a bad note, I wanted that one as a protector because I enjoyed that one.
Mm-hmm.
So I will give it an S.
After that, they went and they brought somebody on to do CBD cocktails.
Mm-hmm.
And so we decided to try that. They did send us a CBD drink.
And
it was non-alcoholic.
I thought it was alcoholic for the longest time, but
I don't believe it was alcoholic.
It wasn't. It was just a juice.
It was a CBD juice drink, and
you didn't like it.
I didn't like it, but I'm just trying to decipher my notes here. This is when it started to hit it for me, and as you can tell from my handwriting, not a fan. It's not a V. It's a and it was like coconut to the max, and that was the main problem I had wrong with it. I
really coconut.
I don't like coconut.
That intense of a coconut. Yeah. So we actually split it up between you, me, Alexis, and Abby, his fiance and my wife, and nobody else seemed to like it but me. When you smell it, it gives off a really like a corn smell almost. Like it just smells like corn. You were laughing at me, Mr. Ohio guy.
Oh yeah, no, probably.
Of course, you know the smell of corn. I was like, yes, I know the smell of corn. Everyone should. I eat corn on my plate sometimes. Like that's what it just made me smell. That's the smell. And then I thought the taste was good. It wasn't something to be like, I'm not gonna go to the store and be like, oh my god, I need more. But I thought it was good. I thought I enjoyed it. It was smooth and it was very light tasting. So I do remember that one because it was a nice little refresher away from the beer for a little bit.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. I didn't. After that, we left the world of IPAs and we tried Invasive Species Brewing. Let me see where they're from. I didn't write that. I can look on the can probably.
Species.
It's that one right there next to
this one.
Yep.
Oh, the Munch Blaster 420?
Yeah.
They are from
Fort Lauderdale? Oh, okay.
Yep.
Awesome. So another Florida brewery. It was their invasive. It's from Invasive Species Brewing. It was the Munch Blaster 420, and it was I put it that it was delicious. It was a nice break from IPAs, and I loved it. It was a stout.
Yeah, it was a banana s'more stout.
Banana s'more stout.
I remember the banana.
Loved it.
I remember the banana being very, very prominent.
Which is weird because I didn't like the sour because of the banana flavored, but I liked this one.
Yeah. No, I remember liking this one a lot, and I even gave it to my wife because they love s'mores a lot. And yeah, it was. I really enjoyed this one.
I gave this one a capital T.
Capital T.
Capital T.
Because I've never given a lowercase T before.
I don't know. I don't know. But it's
Is it a cursive capital T?
No, absolutely not. I don't write in cursive.
Okay. Yeah, I think in this one I'd still give it a really high S. Because it is 12%. No, that's not a reason why. I don't know. Man, I don't know. I'm on the fence between an S and a T, honestly. I'd like to try it again where I'm not as completely like drunk. This time, I think.
That's fair. Next time we're in Fort Lauderdale, we'll
Next time I'm in the neighborhood, you know. I that's how I feel for the beers we tried towards the end. I would like to give them another shot where I haven't had like already 6 beers ahead of time. Even with us splitting the beers, it still seems like.
Well, we were also drinking them at a fairly steady pace.
Yeah. So I would definitely like to give it another shot. So I'm gonna leave it at a high S for now. I think there's potential for definitely be a T for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that brings us to our last beer of the festival, which was Double Nickel from Double Nickel Brewing out of.
Hold on, no, the Munch Blaster 420. That's the one I called Phenomenal.
Oh, is
How
it?
could I forget about it? That's my phenomenal.
Oh, I thought that was for the
okay.
last
I'm gonna
one.
go to a T.
Okay. So you're lying to the people out there.
I am. I'm lying. I totally forgot to read my notes because by the end it didn't make any sense. Yeah, that's the one I called Phenomenal. So I'm gonna go with a T for that. I'll go for a low T for that.
Good.
It was enjoyable.
Good. It deserves a T, and it deserves your respect.
Yes.
You need to send them a nicely worded email apologizing to them.
I'm sorry, I almost gave you an S.
Yeah.
Who are you?
Yeah. So for the last beer from Double Nickel Brewing out of Pennsauken, New Jersey, is the Super Mega Dank 420 Chronic Kush Granddaddy Supreme.
I just remember thinking about this one when I'm already really drunk.
Yeah,
to think like what's going on.
Yeah, this was the last beer. I didn't have fantastic notes on it. I do remember that it was a little bit danker and a little bit juicier since it is a New England IPA, but I did enjoy it. I know that because I made sure to write an S for it. So
I can't put any input. I can't remember it at all. I'd be 100%
I remember it faintly.
Yeah. Again, I would love to give him another shot. Because I don't remember.
And they're another brewery that I
from
wanted
where
to try. New Jersey.
New Jersey.
A lot of these breweries, if it wasn't for this festival, we would not have been able to get our hands on.
Yeah,
for the most part.
No, I'm incredibly grateful that we could.
Yeah. And I'm excited to do one of their upcoming festivals. I know the one in June, for the
Pride beers?
Yeah, the Pride beers.
Mm-hmm.
I was thinking of the name of it, and I couldn't think of the name. But it's based around Pride. I know I can't do that because I am going to be back in New York that weekend.
I mean, even if we decide not to do the live presentation,
I guess that's true.
Always just get the beers and try them on here.
Well, we could also do the festival on another day because
that too.
They
just
put their video.
It is. You don't have to be there live.
Yeah.
It is nice. I gotta say they also did a really good job responding to the chat. People in chat.
Yes. We got shouted out once or twice.
Yeah. Hey.
And it's also fun interacting with other people at the end because last festival and this festival, somebody in the chat made a after party Zoom conference.
After party.
So that was fun to be a part of.
Where all the cool people go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've reached the end.
Well, we still have to do our top 5 and our bottom 5.
We can do top 5. I might just do top 3 and bottom 3.
Okay.
Just in the sense that there's a few that I don't really have a fair say in.
Okay. Well, what do you want to start with?
Let's start with our bottom 3.
Okay. So just what I would put as 10, 8, and 9. 10, 9, 8?
Yeah, 10, 9, and 8. That would be fine.
Okay. What was your least favorite beer of the festival?
My least favorite,
and this is not counting the CBD drink, right?
Yeah, we won't include that in there. I would say my least favorite was probably the Untitled Art.
Okay. My number 10 was the Collective Arts.
Okay. Yeah, so then my next one would have been the Collective Arts.
My number 9 beer is the Single Cut.
The Single Cut. Okay. Then that's my third one.
Okay. So yeah. My 8 is the Untitled Art. So
okay,
we're all in the
so Collective Arts, Untitled, and then the Single Cut.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll do my top 5.
Yeah, that's totally fine. You can definitely. I have 5 here. So
you have?
Be able to do
okay.
It. Yeah.
So what'd you put as your number 5 beer?
So my number 5, I think I put 450 on there only because I don't remember 3 of them very well enough to really put them in. So I put 450 in there as a placeholder. I think had I had a better sense, I think M450 might have been knocked out to bottom 5. 450, honestly, is just kind of off in its own little space.
I put 450 as my number 7.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
To me, it's just kind of off to its little space. But yeah.
Well, I might as well say with that. Then for my number 6, I put the double nickel. I'll just say that.
Do all yours, honestly.
Yeah.
So your number 5 was what?
My number 5 was the strictly illegal.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think I even put them in here. I think it was one I wanted to go a little bit more from. So my number 4 was the chasing trees, the dank house.
Okay.
I think what was it I said about that? It was mostly just that it was incredibly smooth for being 8%.
My number 4 was the tripping animals street nacho.
Okay. Yeah, that was my number 3. Because I put a check mark next to it and emoji.
I love these little codes. That
drunk codes, man.
For my number 3, I put dank house chasing trees.
Okay, nice.
And the reason is I found it to be dank, delicious, and it was an awesome first beer to try from them. And I look forward to trying more.
They were what beer were they in our thing? Like what number beer did when we tried?
They were
4 or 5.
They were 4.
4. Okay.
And I gave them an S. I think you gave them an S as well.
Yeah, I was still pretty sober. Well, or not sober. I was still able to make judgment while drinking them. So, for me, what was that?
What I was gonna say.
Yeah. Number 2, I go with the Munch Blaster because it was phenomenal.
For my number 2, I put the Burley Oak Strawberry Apricot Marshmallow Dream.
Ooh, okay. Well, I'm intrigued by your first one then. Yeah, Dream was my number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
You're intrigued by my first one?
Yeah.
It's the Invasive Species Brewing Munch Blaster 420.
Oh, okay. Because it was phenomenal?
No, because it was absolutely delicious.
It was phenomenal.
Delicious. I loved everything about it.
Yeah, I could go with that. So, I mean, our top 2 for both of us would be Dream and the Munch Blaster.
Pretty much had the same top 5. Except for the
450.
Yeah. That was the only difference.
Yeah. So we say the top 4, we'll just say the Dream, Munch Blaster, Sweet Nacho, and Dank House.
Dank House, yeah.
Yeah. And again, some of these I really do want to go back and try. I want to give them another shot, especially for those O's. I would like to get that other experience. Mainly that Collective Arts. Really want to give that another shot.
So I think that's going to be it for this episode. I do have just a couple of toasts to do before we wrap things up.
Definitely.
The first toast I'd like to give to Hop Culture for hosting an awesome beer festival, and a shout out to their owner and founder, Ken. For sticking together through the whole.
Ken, we hope you're all right.
I hope you're doing fine, bud. Oh man, we were in the same boat yesterday.
I mean, to be able to be a host of a show and have as much beer as he did, that's a huge props to him. It is. But also his co-host as well, Grace. I think they did a really good job.
Yeah, they did a great
everybody
job.
Behind the scenes, the production team, really well done.
And it's also, I'm a big fan of it because of COVID, there's no outdoor beer festivals. And so doing stuff like this gives people a chance to sit at home safely and partake. So,
yes. I want to give a cheers to you for putting this all together.
Putting this all together.
The
ticket online.
You did, but I wouldn't have been able to go to it. I wouldn't have known anything about it. I mean, you send me stuff all the time.
Well, yeah.
And I do appreciate it. I can show my appreciation for you.
I'm
cheers
clipping
yourself.
this. I'm
cheers
clipping
yourself.
This. I am clipping this. And the last cheers, as always, I would like to give to our listeners out there. Thank you very much for deciding to listen to our show. We very much appreciate it, because without you, we wouldn't be doing this. So,
cheers
to you. All right, and that is going to be a wrap on this week's episode. Thank you so much for listening. You can catch us on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio now, and Apple. That's it. And for all the Apple listeners out there, giving us that 5-star rating really goes a long way, and we very much appreciate it. And if you don't follow us on YouTube, please, that also helps us.
Hit the subscription button.
Yeah,
Of course, as every YouTuber says, you gotta hit the little bell as well.
Yeah, to get the alerts.
Notifications.
We'll do that. I think that's
yeah.
And also if stay up to date with us on Spotify. If you follow us on there as well, you'll be notified every time we do an episode.
As well as any kind of social media.
Yeah. We're on Twitter, Instagram. Don't have
and
Facebook
TikTok.
yet. And TikTok, yes, we do the TikTok.
You want to see good videos of
my
a
dog.
Good dog. Definitely check it out. They're well done. I enjoy them. But we'll definitely see you guys all in the next episode.